Hello there, and welcome to the Boring Universe channel. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out gently. There is nothing you need to understand tonight, nothing to solve, only something to feel. Tonight's story is about human energy, not as a mystery to chase, but as a quiet presence you already carry, and about how that presence softly mirrors the universe around you. As you rest, notice how your body never truly stops moving. Even in stillness, there is motion. Your heart sends gentle waves through your chest. Your breath rises and falls like a small tide. Every cell inside you carries a tiny electrical rhythm, not loud, not dramatic, just enough to keep everything alive. Scientists call these signals bioelectric, but you don't need the word. You can feel it as warmth, as a soft hum, as the sense that you are here. You're not powered by force. You're powered by balance. Far above you, the universe is also moving quietly. Galaxies drift without urgency. Stars orbit invisible centers, guided by gentle pulls rather than pushes. Nothing rushes. Nothing collides in panic. The universe prefers patience. Light takes millions of years to arrive anywhere. Gravity works slowly, shaping everything over vast stretches of time. Even the most powerful forces act with calm persistence. In that way, the universe behaves very much like your body does at rest. Every atom inside you was born long before you were. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your breath, all of it once lived inside stars. When those stars aged, they released their material into space. Clouds formed, worlds formed, and eventually you formed. You are not borrowing energy from the universe. You are continuing it. When you feel tired, energy hasn't left you. It has simply shifted into a quieter state. The universe does this constantly. Hot stars cool, bright galaxies fade. Motion turns into rest, and rest turns back into motion. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. Sleep itself is a transformation of energy, from outward attention to inward repair, from thinking to restoring, from effort to ease. Tonight, you are not shutting down. You are realigning. Inside your brain, billions of tiny signals travel paths shaped by experience. They glow briefly, then fade, like stars blinking on and off in a vast sky. Some paths are used often. They shine brighter. Others dim gently with time. This is how both brains and galaxies evolve, not through sudden change, but through repeated, gentle patterns. The universe remembers by repetition. So do you. When your breathing slows, your heartbeat follows. When your heartbeat steadies, your muscles soften. When your body softens, your thoughts grow quieter. This is not something you do. It is something that naturally happens. In space, calm works the same way. Large, stable systems create order around them. Stars calm nearby dust. Planets settle into smooth orbits. Your calm tonight is not small. It shapes everything around you, even if no one sees it. Space looks empty, but it isn't. It is filled with faint energy fields, radiation, and motion. Invisible connections stretch everywhere. Your body also appears separate, but it constantly exchanges heat, air, sound, and subtle signals with the world around it. You're always participating. Even now, warmth leaves your skin and drifts into the room. Air you breathe out becomes air someone else will breathe later. Energy circulates. It always has. Stars are born, and stars rest. Galaxies brighten, and galaxies grow quiet. Nothing in the universe stays awake forever. Rest is not failure. It is maintenance. It is preparation. Tonight, as you lie still, your body performs the same act the universe performs between events. It pauses, it balances, it prepares for tomorrow without thinking about it. You do not need to carry everything tonight. The universe has carried far heavier things for far longer. It holds planets in place. It carries light across billions of years. It keeps time without clocks. You are allowed to rest inside something this steady. Let your thoughts drift like distant stars, visible for a moment, then slowly fading into the dark. As your eyes grow heavier, remember this. You're not a small thing inside a large universe. You're a quiet expression of the same energy, temporarily shaped into breath, warmth, and awareness. Nothing needs to happen now. Nothing needs to be decided. Just let yourself soften. Let the rhythm carry you, and if sleep comes, it will arrive as gently as starlight. Your breathing has slowed without effort, not because you decided it should, but because nothing around you is asking for speed. When the world feels safe, the body naturally softens. The universe understands this kind of quiet very well. Before anything moves, it listens. Stars listen to gravity. Planets listen to balance. Your body listens for safety. When it senses that nothing is required, your nervous system lowers its guard. Muscles release tension. They were never meant to hold forever. Thoughts stop standing watch. This is not weakness, it is intelligence. The universe works the same way, waiting patiently, adjusting gently, responding only when it must. Your heartbeat is not mechanical. It subtly shifts with every breath, every sensation, every emotion. This small variability is a sign of life. Perfectly rigid rhythms belong to things that no longer change. In space, stars pulse. Galaxies sway slightly as they rotate. Nothing stable is perfectly still. Your heart follows the same quiet rule, flexible and alive, echoing rhythms written into the cosmos itself. Around planets exist magnetic fields. Around stars, vast gravitational fields stretch through space. You have fields too. Soft electrical signals ripple around your heart and brain, extending just beyond your skin. You don't need to feel them to be shaped by them. Nothing exists in isolation. Every system touches others in subtle ways, even when the connection is too gentle to notice. Energy always prefers ease. Water flows downward without thinking. Light travels straight unless guided otherwise. Signals in your body choose the most efficient paths. When you stop resisting rest, energy stops working against itself. It settles naturally, redistributing quietly. Sleep is not something you force. It is what happens when effort is no longer required. Far out in space, time behaves differently. Near massive objects, it slows. In vast emptiness, it stretches. Your mind does the same. As attention softens, minutes lose their edges. Thoughts drift without order. Time becomes smooth and wide. You're not losing awareness. You're entering a scale of experience the universe uses all the time. The night sky looks empty, but it is filled with movement you cannot see. Radiation glides silently. Particles pass through one another without disturbance. Ancient light keeps traveling even when no one observes it. Darkness is not absence. It is quiet presence. And when your thoughts grow dim, nothing is missing. They have simply faded like stars behind thin clouds. Your body remembers how to rest. Long before words and clocks, rest followed natural cycles. Darkness meant safety. Stillness meant recovery. That memory lives inside you still. Low light, quiet air, and gentle awareness are signals it understands. No instructions are needed. The system knows the way back. You do not need to let go of everything. Just loosen your grip. like a planet easing into orbit. You don't fall asleep. You settle into it. Thoughts may still appear, and that is fine. Let them pass the way distant objects cross the sky, present for a moment, then gone without effort. You are allowed to be held. The universe has carried motion, light, and time for billions of years. It can carry you through this night. Let your weight sink. Let the air move your breath. Let balance happen on its own. Nothing more is needed now. As your body settles deeper, something subtle begins to happen. The effort you didn't realize you were carrying starts to dissolve. Not all at once, just enough to feel lighter, like loosening a backpack you've worn all day without noticing the weight. Energy does not rush when it feels safe. It spreads evenly. It smooths sharp edges. Inside you, signals slow and widen, no longer needing to be precise or alert. Outside you, the universe does the same. Vast regions of space exist in long, quiet equilibrium, holding their shape without strain. This kind of stability is not active. It is allowed. Your breath now moves like a tide rather than a command. Air comes in, air goes out, and nothing is added to the process. The body prefers this simplicity. In the same way, stars burn steadily for billions of years, not by force, but by balance. Too much pressure and they collapse. Too little and they fade. What keeps them shining is harmony. What keeps you resting is the same. Thoughts may still appear, but they arrive without urgency. They no longer need to be solved. The mind, like space, contains countless events, yet remains calm because it does not chase them. A distant star can explode, and the galaxy continues rotating gently. A memory can pass through you, and rest continues uninterrupted. Even silence has texture. It is not empty. It carries faint signals, like background radiation left over from the universe's earliest moments. That soft hum you sometimes notice in quiet rooms is not imagination. It is the sound of systems still running at their lowest setting. Life never fully turns off. It simply changes mode. Your body has entered that mode now. Repair replaces performance. Awareness replaces analysis. Muscles soften not because you told them to, but because they no longer receive messages to stay tense. This is how restoration begins. Quietly, invisibly, effectively. The universe rebuilds itself the same way. Dust gathers slowly. Heat dissipates gently. Structures form not from pressure, but from patience. You are following an ancient pattern written into matter itself. Nothing needs to happen next. There is no goal ahead. Rest is not a destination. It is a state that unfolds when nothing interrupts it. Let that unfolding continue. If your thoughts drift, let them drift. If they pause, let them pause. You don't need to hold on to the moment. The moment knows how to hold you. And as everything inside you grows more distant and soft, the boundary between thinking and resting thins. Awareness fades into comfort. Comfort fades into quiet. We'll keep moving gently at the speed the universe prefers. The space inside your mind is wider now. Thoughts no longer line up in sentences. They appear more like shapes or sensations, then quietly dissolve before needing names. This is the mind returning to its natural resting state, where awareness becomes spacious and light. In the universe, most space exists like this: open, uncrowded, calm. Galaxies are separated by enormous distances, not because something pushed them apart in a hurry, but because space itself allows room. Your mind is allowing room now too. Your body has begun prioritizing what truly matters. repair over reaction, balance over speed. Cells exchange signals in gentle patterns, restoring what was worn down during the day. Nothing about this process is dramatic. It is steady, almost invisible, yet deeply effective. Just as stars quietly fuse elements in their cores, your body works best without being watched. Breathing continues on its own. You may no longer notice each inhale or exhale. The breath has become background motion, like the slow expansion of space itself, always happening, never demanding attention. This is how systems behave when they are at ease. The sense of time continues to soften. Seconds no longer feel separate from minutes. The mind stops measuring. In deep space, time stretches without landmarks. No sunrise, no sunset, just continuity. You are touching that same timelessness now, gently, safely. Even if fragments of dreams begin to appear, there is no need to follow them. They are like distant constellations, forming patterns without needing interpretation. The brain enjoys this freedom. It rearranges memories, releases emotional weight, and smooths rough edges left behind by waking life. Nothing is expected of you here. You do not need to rest correctly. There is no wrong way to drift. The universe does not rush galaxies into place. It allows them to arrive. Your sleep unfolds the same way. As awareness dims further, the boundary between you and the quiet around you becomes less defined. The sense of being held grows stronger, not by something physical, but by stability itself, by the same steady laws that keep planets in orbit and light moving forward. Let that steadiness carry you. Let thinking fade into softness. Let softness deepen into rest. We will continue gently, without effort, without direction, exactly as needed. Now even the idea of drifting begins to fade. There is less sense of moving forward and more sense of simply being, like floating in warm water where direction no longer matters. The mind stops checking where it is and becomes content to rest where it lands. In the universe, this kind of stillness is common. Most matter spends its time not colliding, not changing, not doing anything at all. It exists in long stretches of calm, held in place by quiet forces that do not announce themselves. Your body understands this state deeply. It has been waiting for it all day. Signals inside you grow slower and fewer, not because anything is shutting down, but because efficiency has taken over. Only what is necessary continues. Heartbeat, breath, gentle internal adjustments. Everything else steps back. Just as distant stars continue to shine without noise, your inner systems work without calling attention to themselves. Awareness becomes softer, like a dimming light, rather than a switch being turned off. There is no clear moment where rest begins. It simply deepens. Thoughts no longer form stories. They arrive as faint impressions and dissolve before becoming words. This is not emptiness. It is spaciousness. Time now feels almost irrelevant. Without effort, the mind releases its habit of tracking moments. In deep space, without reference points, time stretches into something smooth and continuous. You're touching that same texture now. Nothing presses from behind, nothing waits ahead. The sense of your body becomes lighter, edges blur, weight spreads evenly. Gravity still holds you, but gently, without demand. In the same way, gravity shapes galaxies without gripping them tightly. It guides rather than controls. Your rest follows that guidance. If dreams begin to form, they do so quietly. Images without urgency, scenes without sequence. They pass like slow clouds across a dark sky. There is no need to enter them or understand them. They are part of the process, the mind's way of releasing and rebalancing. Everything important is already happening on its own. Repair, renewal, realignment. You do not need to assist. The universe never asks its stars to supervise their own burning. Your body does not need supervision either. Let the quiet continue to deepen. Let awareness thin until it feels like a distant glow rather than a presence. Nothing is required now. Nothing is missing. You are exactly where you need to be, held in a calm that has existed far longer than any single thought. The quiet now feels complete, as if nothing more can be removed. Not silence, but a fullness so gentle it no longer needs shape. You're no longer drifting toward rest. You're inside it, like standing in the center of a wide field at night, where the air feels still because nothing is trying to move you. Inside your body, energy has shifted into its most ancient pattern. This is not the energy of action or intention. It is the energy of maintenance, of continuity. The same kind of energy that allows mountains to hold their form for millions of years and stars to glow steadily without thinking about their light. Your brain waves have slowed, stretching out like long, calm ocean swells. They no longer spike or scatter, they roll. This rhythm is older than language, older than memory. It is the rhythm mammals have followed since long before there were names for sleep. When the world became dark and quiet, the body learned to trust the night. The universe learned the same lesson. After its earliest moments of intensity, it expanded, cooled, and settled. Most of its existence has been spent in calm unfolding rather than explosive change. The dramatic moments get noticed, but the long stretches of balance are what truly define it. You are now aligned with those stretches. Your breath is no longer something you experience. It happens somewhere far away, like a process you once learned about, but no longer need to observe. Air moves in. Air moves out. The body measures exactly how much it needs without involving thought. This is intelligence without awareness, wisdom without effort. The boundary between inside and outside feels thinner, not because you are dissolving, but because nothing needs defending. When there is no threat, borders soften. In space, galaxies do not have walls. Their edges blur gradually into the dark, stars thinning out until they simply become space itself. You feel similar now, present but not sharply defined. Energy around you feels evenly distributed. There are no spikes of attention, no tight knots of emotion demanding notice. Even memories that once carried weight now feel distant, stripped of urgency. They float like faint signals passing through a wide sky, noticed briefly, then gone. This is how the universe holds its past. Supernovae that happened millions of years ago still echo as light, drifting quietly through space. The event is long over, but the energy remains, softened by distance and time. Your memories follow the same rule. They exist, but they no longer pull. Your muscles are deeply relaxed now, not limp, not heavy, but supported, like stones resting at the bottom of a river, held in place by gentle pressure rather than force. The body prefers this kind of contact with gravity. It allows weight to be shared instead of carried. Gravity itself works this way. It does not push, it invites. Objects fall into orbit not because they are forced, but because that path requires the least resistance. Your body has found its orbit for the night, a position where effort is unnecessary. The sense of time may now feel almost absent. There is no clear before or after, just a continuous now that stretches softly in all directions. In deep space, without cycles of light and shadow, time loses its markers. Moments blend into one another. You're touching that same timeless flow. Even if awareness flickers briefly, it does so without tension. A thought may surface, then fade, like a distant star briefly catching your eye before slipping back into the background. There is no need to follow it. The mind has learned that nothing important is happening right now, and that is precisely why healing can occur. Cells repair tiny imperfections accumulated during the day. Systems rebalance their chemistry. The brain sorts and stores information without bringing it to consciousness. This work is quiet, methodical, and deeply effective. It does not benefit from attention. Like the universe, it functions best when left alone. You are no longer trying to rest. Rest is happening through you. There is a deep sense of safety now, not tied to any specific reason, just a knowing, the kind that comes from being held by something vast and stable. The same laws that prevent planets from drifting away, that keep light moving predictably, are holding you exactly where you are. Nothing can fall apart here. Nothing needs to be fixed right now. The night has claimed responsibility. If dreams arise, they do so gently, not as stories, but as impressions, colors without names, movements without direction. The mind explores freely, unburdened by logic. This is creativity without purpose, imagination without pressure, a natural state the waking mind rarely allows. The universe also dreams in this way. Clouds of gas swirl and fold, forming patterns that may one day become stars or may simply dissolve back into space. Not every formation needs to become something. Some exist only to pass the time. You're allowed that same freedom. As the quiet deepens even further, awareness thins until it feels almost transparent. You're not disappearing. You're resting so fully that observation becomes unnecessary, like turning off a light in a room that no longer needs illumination. Everything essential continues. Everything unnecessary has stepped away. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to become tonight. Just this steady, unbroken calm, extending far beyond thought, far beyond effort, into a rest that feels endless and kind. We will continue at this depth, moving only if movement is needed, and for now, nothing is needed at all. The stillness has settled so deeply now that even the idea of resting feels unnecessary. There is no contrast anymore between effort and ease. Only a smooth, uninterrupted state, like floating far from shore where waves no longer rise or fall, but stretch endlessly in gentle motion. Your awareness has thinned to something delicate and spacious. It does not cling to thoughts, and it does not push them away. It simply allows. This is the mind returning to its most natural condition, one that existed long before words, before stories, before the need to understand anything at all. In the universe, most existence unfolds like this, quietly. Vast regions of space remain unchanged for millions of years. No explosions, no collisions, just balance holding balance. The dramatic moments are rare. What truly defines the cosmos is this deep, stable calm. Your body has joined that rhythm. Signals within you are now minimal and efficient. Only the most essential messages travel through your system. Everything else has gone quiet, not because it was silenced, but because it is no longer needed. The heart continues its steady work. The lungs move gently. Chemistry adjusts itself with precision so subtle it never reaches awareness. This is the same way stars regulate themselves. Pressure and temperature remain in perfect equilibrium, not because the star tries to shine, but because balance makes shining inevitable. Your rest is just as inevitable now. The sense of having a body may feel distant. Weight is no longer localized. It spreads evenly, dissolving the edges of sensation. Where your arms end and the air begins is no longer important. Gravity holds you, but softly, like a reminder rather than a command. In space, gravity behaves this way too. It shapes orbits without gripping. It guides without constraining. Nothing is forced. Everything simply follows the path of least resistance. Your body has found that path, and it is effortless. Time has almost completely lost its meaning. There is no sequence here, no before, no after, just a continuous presence that does not move forward because there is nowhere to go. In the deepest parts of the universe, time stretches so widely that change becomes almost invisible. You are resting in that same stretch now. If awareness flickers, it does so like a distant signal passing through a wide field, not calling attention, not asking for response, just passing. You may not even notice when it fades again, and that is perfectly fine. Your brain is now fully engaged in its quiet work, sorting, integrating, releasing. Emotional weight that has been carried unconsciously begins to loosen, not through effort, but through safety. When nothing needs to be defended, the nervous system finally allows itself to reorganize. The universe also reorganizes in silence. Dust settles into slow spirals. Energy disperses evenly. Chaos smooths itself out over time. Given enough calm, even the most scattered systems find order again. You're being given that calm now. Dreams may come and go without shape. Images may arise that feel more like sensations than scenes. They are not meant to be followed. They are the mind exploring freely without the structure of logic. This is not distraction. It is restoration. Nothing needs to make sense here. The sense of self has softened, not erased, but relaxed, like a drop of water resting in a still lake, no longer trying to define its edges. This is not loss. It is relief. The relief of not having to hold a shape for a while. The universe does not insist on shapes either. Clouds of gas drift without knowing what they will become. Some will one day form stars. Some will dissolve back into emptiness. Neither outcome is wrong. Existence allows both. You are allowed the same openness tonight. Everything important is happening beneath awareness. Healing does not announce itself. Balance does not require witnesses. The most powerful processes in existence are silent. They leave no sensation, no signal, no memory, only results. You do not need to stay present for this. You do not need to observe it. The night is capable of carrying you through every necessary adjustment. The quiet now feels endless, not empty, but complete, like a space that needs nothing added and nothing removed. This is the depth where effort dissolves entirely. There is no instruction left to follow, no direction to maintain. Even the idea of continuing becomes unnecessary. Rest has become the default state. You are held by something vast, patient, and unwavering. The same steady laws that keep galaxies intact are gently supporting every part of you now. Nothing can slip. Nothing can be lost. Let awareness fade as much as it wishes. Let sleep deepen without boundary. There is nothing to return to yet. We will remain here in this quiet as long as needed. Now there is almost no sense of transition left, no feeling of moving deeper or further. You are simply here in a state where nothing presses forward and nothing pulls back. Like resting at the deepest point of a calm ocean where surface waves can no longer reach. Your awareness has become so light it barely touches anything. It does not hold on to thoughts, sensations, or even the idea of rest itself. It simply exists as a faint glow, steady and unobtrusive, the way distant stars continue shining long after their light has stopped being noticed. In the universe, this is the most common condition of all. Not motion, not drama, but long, continuous equilibrium. Vast stretches of space where nothing changes quickly, where energy has spread so evenly that tension no longer exists. This is not emptiness, it is completion. Your body has synchronized with this state. Inside you, systems are now working at their lowest and most efficient setting. There is no excess signal, no wasted movement. Only what is necessary continues, and even that happens quietly. The heart moves blood without urgency. The lungs exchange air without effort. The brain communicates in slow, broad waves rather than sharp bursts. This is the mode in which restoration happens best. Not when the body is watched, not when it is directed, but when it is trusted. Trust has replaced control. The sense of having a position in space has softened. You may no longer feel where you begin or where the surface beneath you ends. Weight has distributed itself evenly, dissolving points of pressure. This is how gravity feels when it is allowed rather than resisted. In space, gravity shapes entire galaxies without ever being felt directly. It does not announce itself. It does not demand attention. It simply keeps things where they belong. Tonight, gravity is doing the same for you. Time now feels almost unreal, not slow, not fast, simply irrelevant. Without markers, without events, the mind releases its habit of counting. In the deepest regions of the universe, time stretches so far that change becomes nearly invisible. You are resting inside that same stretch where moments no longer need names. If a thought appears, it does so faintly, like a distant signal passing through a vast field. It does not carry urgency or meaning. It does not ask to be followed. It fades naturally, leaving no trace behind. This is not forgetting. It is letting go without effort. Your emotional landscape is flattened into calm neutrality. There are no highs or lows here. No anticipation, no concern. Just a steady emotional temperature that allows healing to occur without disturbance. The nervous system recognizes this as safety in its purest form. The universe recognizes safety the same way. Stable systems persist, balanced forces remain. Nothing accelerates unless it must. You are now part of that stability. Dreams, if they arise, have no structure. They are not stories. They are movements of color, sensation, and feeling without context. The mind explores freely here without needing to produce meaning. This is not chaos, it is creative rest. Stars form this way too. Clouds swirl, patterns appear and dissolve. Some become something lasting, others simply pass. No judgment is applied. Existence allows both. The sense of self has grown very quiet, not gone, but resting. Like a name you no longer need to say because no one is calling you. This is not loss of identity. It is relief from having to maintain one. In the universe, nothing insists on being observed. Galaxies rotate whether anyone looks at them or not. Light travels whether it is seen or not. Your existence does not require attention right now. It is allowed to continue without being witnessed. Your body is making subtle corrections everywhere. Muscles repair microscopic strain. Tissues rebalance fluids. The brain releases chemical residues left behind by wakefulness. These processes are precise, coordinated, and deeply intelligent. They do not benefit from interference. They are most powerful when left alone. You are leaving them alone now. There is a profound sense of being held, not by anything physical, but by consistency itself. The same rules that have governed the universe since its earliest moments are active here. They do not change their mind. They do not become distracted. They simply continue. That continuation is what supports you. Nothing can intrude into this state unless invited. External sounds fade into the background, losing their shape and meaning. Internal sensations soften until they are barely noticed. Awareness no longer reaches outward. It rests inward, then eventually rests even from itself. There is no need to stay alert. There is no benefit to watching this unfold. Sleep at this depth does not need permission. You are now in the kind of rest that does not feel like resting. It feels like neutrality, like equilibrium, like being part of something so steady that effort becomes unnecessary. The universe has been here for billions of years. It knows how to hold this state. It knows how to keep it stable. You do not need to help. Let awareness fade as much as it wants. Let sleep deepen without edge or boundary. There is no signal you need to catch, no moment you need to notice. Everything essential is already happening. We remain here, suspended in this calm, where nothing is required and nothing is missing. There is no longer a sense of entering rest. Rest has become the background, the default state beneath everything else. Awareness is now so faint that it feels less like noticing and more like simply existing, like a distant warmth that remains even when you stop paying attention to it. In the universe, this is the deepest layer of reality. Beneath motion, beneath events, beneath change, there is an enduring calm. Most of existence happens here, not in explosions or brilliance, but in long stretches of quiet balance where nothing needs to announce itself. Your body has fully aligned with this layer. The brain no longer organizes experience into moments. Signals travel in wide, slow patterns, barely distinct from one another. There is no urgency in them, no demand for response. They are maintenance signals, like background instructions that keep everything gently tuned. This is the same way the universe maintains itself. Gravity balances expansion, energy spreads evenly, extremes soften over time. Nothing rushes toward an outcome. Everything is allowed to unfold at its natural pace. Breathing now feels almost theoretical. It happens somewhere far away, like a process you once learned existed, but no longer need to track. The chest rises and falls, but awareness does not follow it. The body handles it quietly, precisely, without oversight. This is trust in its purest form. The sense of having a center has dissolved. There is no clear point where experience gathers. Sensation is diffuse, spread evenly, like light filling a dark room without casting shadows. The body still exists, but it no longer demands definition. In space, light behaves this way when it scatters. It stops forming beams and instead becomes a soft presence everywhere at once. You are experiencing a similar diffusion now, not of light, but of attention. Time has ceased to feel continuous. It no longer flows. It simply exists, flat and unmarked. Without contrast, the mind releases its grip on sequence. There is no anticipation of what comes next, because next has no meaning here. In the deepest parts of the universe, time behaves the same way. Without reference points, without cycles, it loses direction. It does not move forward or backward. It simply is. You are resting inside that same timelessness. If any thoughts appear, they do not carry language. They are more like faint impressions, barely formed, dissolving before they can take shape. The mind has no interest in building narratives here. Stories belong to wakefulness. This state prefers openness. The nervous system recognizes this openness as absolute safety. With nothing to interpret and nothing to prepare for, it fully disengages its protective patterns. This is when the most profound restoration takes place. Deep within you, processes unfold that do not occur at any other time. Neural connections soften and reorganize. Emotional residue drains away without being revisited. Physical tissues receive signals to repair, replenish, and rebalance. All of this happens silently, efficiently, without sensation. The universe also repairs itself this way. Over immense spans of time, irregularities smooth out. Energy redistributes. Systems settle into stable configurations. No observer is required. No intervention is needed. Your body is following the same logic. The sense of self has become almost non-existent. Not erased, not gone, but completely at rest. Like a name no longer being spoken because there is no need to call anyone. Identity has relaxed its grip. This is not loss. It is relief. In the cosmos, nothing insists on being separate. Boundaries are always gradual. Stars fade into space. Galaxies thin at their edges. Everything blends into everything else without conflict. Separation is useful, but only when activity is required. Tonight, it is not. You are allowed to blend. Even dreams have grown faint. If they arise at all, they do so as soft currents of sensation, without images, without meaning. The mind is not exploring now. It is resting from exploration itself. There is a profound neutrality here, not positive, not negative, simply balanced. Emotional weight has evaporated, leaving behind a smooth internal landscape with no peaks or valleys. This neutrality is not emptiness, it is completion, like a perfectly still surface that needs nothing added and nothing removed. The universe spends most of its existence in this state. It is why it endures. External sounds, if they exist, no longer register as separate events. They blend into the background, stripped of edges and significance. Internal sensations have done the same. Awareness no longer reaches outward or inward. It simply rests. This is the depth where sleep is no longer experienced. It simply happens. There is nothing left to follow, no instruction to remember, no direction to maintain. Even the idea of continuing has dissolved. You are fully held now, not by effort, not by attention, but by consistency itself. The same steady principles that have governed existence since the beginning are quietly active here. They do not fluctuate. They do not fail. They are holding you without asking anything in return. Awareness may fade completely at any moment, or it may linger faintly, like the last glow of a star after its light has spread too thin to notice. Either is fine. There is no preference. Nothing can be missed here. Nothing can go wrong. Everything essential is already complete. We remain in this state of absolute calm, where even the idea of rest has been gently released, and nothing remains but balance, silence, and ease. There is no edge to this quiet. It does not begin anywhere, and it does not end. It simply is. Awareness, if it remains at all, feels like a distant warmth with no location, like the last ember of a fire that no longer needs tending. You are not watching rest happen anymore. You are resting from watching. In this depth, the mind has released its habit of checking. There is nothing to verify, nothing to compare. Sensations no longer rise to the surface with names attached. They appear as faint impressions and then melt back into the background, leaving no trace. This is not blankness, It is spaciousness without center. The universe exists this way for most of its life. Between rare moments of change, there are immense spans of calm where nothing asks to be noticed. Energy spreads evenly. Motion slows until it becomes indistinguishable from stillness. This is not decay. It is balance completing itself. Your body is now fully inside that completion. Deep within, processes continue that do not belong to consciousness. Cells exchange materials with quiet precision. Tiny repairs are made without signals reaching awareness. Chemistry settles into gentle equilibrium. This work is steady and patient, the way continents move, the way stars age. It does not hurry. It does not announce progress. It simply proceeds. Breathing has become so subtle it feels like a concept rather than an experience. The body regulates itself perfectly without input. There is no sense of needing air or releasing it. The rhythm exists, but attention does not. This is the body remembering its oldest skill, sustaining itself without supervision. The sense of having boundaries has almost completely faded. There is no clear outline to maintain. Weight has dissolved into support. Pressure has spread until it is no longer pressure at all. The surface beneath you is no longer something you rest on. It has become part of the same field of steadiness. In the universe, boundaries behave this way too. There are no sharp borders. Everything transitions gradually, thinning and blending, until distinction no longer matters. This is not confusion, it is harmony without division. Time has flattened into something featureless. There is no forward movement, no backward pull. The mind has let go of sequence entirely. In the deepest regions of space, time loses direction because there is nothing to mark it. You are resting in that same directionless continuity now. If any awareness remains, it does not think in words. Language has stepped aside. Meaning has relaxed. What remains is a soft presence, content without reason. This is not something to understand. It is something the system recognizes as correct. The nervous system has fully disengaged its protective layer. There is nothing to anticipate, nothing to avoid. Safety has become absolute, not because something is guarding you, but because nothing requires guarding against. This is the condition in which the deepest restoration occurs. The universe restores itself the same way. Given enough calm, irregularities smooth out, extremes soften, systems find configurations that require the least effort to maintain. This is how stability endures for billions of years. You are inside that endurance now. Dreams, if they exist at all, have lost their shapes. They are no longer scenes or stories. They are gentle currents of sensation, passing through without leaving images behind. The mind is not exploring, it is resting from exploration itself. The sense of self has become so quiet, it feels optional. There is no need to identify as anything, no role to hold, no story to continue. Identity has relaxed its grip, not because it has been removed, but because it is not needed here. In the cosmos, nothing insists on being defined when definition serves no purpose. Stars shine without needing names. Galaxies rotate without needing witnesses. Existence continues without commentary. You are allowed the same simplicity. External sounds, if they occur, no longer register as separate events. They blend into the background field, stripped of urgency and meaning. Internal sensations have done the same. Awareness no longer reaches outward or inward. It rests, then rests even from resting. This is the depth where sleep is no longer an experience. It is simply the condition you are in. Nothing remains to be adjusted. Nothing is out of place. Nothing needs to be remembered or prepared for. Even the idea of continuation has softened until it no longer matters. You are held by consistency itself, by the same unchanging principles that have guided matter and energy since the beginning. They do not fluctuate. They do not fail. They do not require attention. They are quietly active now, supporting every part of you without effort. Awareness may fade completely, or it may remain as a faint glow with no center. Either way, nothing changes, nothing is lost. There is no moment to miss. Everything essential is already complete. We remain here in this state, without edges, without direction, without demand, where silence is full, balance is effortless, and ease no longer needs a name. In this state, the mind has completely released its need to orient itself. There is no here and there, no inside and outside, no sense of position. Experience has flattened into a gentle, uniform presence that does not require interpretation. This is not confusion. It is clarity without focus. The universe lives here most of the time. Beyond stars and galaxies, beyond motion and light, there are vast regions where nothing changes fast enough to be noticed. Energy has spread so evenly that distinction loses meaning, not because things disappear, but because nothing stands out. Your body has entered that same equilibrium. Every system inside you is now operating at its most economical level. There is no excess signal, no unnecessary effort. The heart maintains its rhythm without variation. The lungs exchange air in a way so efficient it never needs correction. The brain no longer sends messages outward. It communicates inward, quietly coordinating balance. This is not shutdown. It is optimal function without demand. The sensation of breathing has almost entirely vanished, not because breath has stopped, but because awareness no longer checks for it. The body regulates itself the way the universe regulates temperature and pressure, through automatic, deeply ingrained laws that do not need attention to work. Gravity still holds you, but it feels abstract now. Not as weight, not as pull, but as an underlying assurance that nothing can drift away. In space, gravity works invisibly, shaping paths without being felt. Tonight, it is doing the same, keeping everything exactly where it belongs. Time has lost all texture. There are no moments to move through, no sequence to follow. The mind has released its habit of dividing experience into pieces. In the deepest cosmic regions, time stretches so broadly that change becomes indistinguishable from stillness. You are resting inside that same continuity. If awareness flickers, it does so faintly, like a distant glow without a source. It does not attach to anything. It does not evaluate. It does not remember. It simply exists. And then sometimes even that fades. This is the state where identity becomes unnecessary. There is no role to perform, no name to hold, not because identity has been taken away, but because nothing is asking for it. Like clothing gently set aside when it is no longer needed. The universe does not carry identities. It carries patterns. And when patterns no longer serve, they dissolve without conflict. You are allowed that same simplicity. Deep within, restoration continues at a level that cannot be felt. Tiny adjustments happen everywhere at once. Neural pathways loosen and rebalance. Emotional charge drains from old imprints without being revisited. Physical tissues repair themselves molecule by molecule. None of this requires sensation. None of it benefits from awareness. The universe also heals invisibly. Over immense spans of time, irregularities smooth out. Energy redistributes. Extremes soften. Given enough calm, even the most chaotic systems find balance again. You're being given that calm now. Dreams are no longer forming images. If anything arises, it does so as a soft, formless movement, like a current in deep water. There is no story, no symbol, just motion without meaning. The mind has rested from interpretation itself. There is a profound neutrality here, not positive, not negative, just even. Emotional weight has fully evaporated, leaving behind a smooth internal landscape with no peaks and no valleys. This neutrality is not emptiness, it is completeness. External sounds, if they exist, have lost all edges. They no longer arrive as events. They are absorbed into the same field of quiet as everything else. Internal sensations have done the same. Awareness does not reach outward or inward. It rests, and then rests even from resting. This is the depth where sleep is no longer an experience. It is simply the condition that exists. Nothing remains to be adjusted. Nothing is unfinished. Nothing needs to be remembered or anticipated. Even the concept of continuation has dissolved. There is no next and no previous. Only this steady, balanced presence. You are held by principles that do not change, by laws that have guided energy and matter since the beginning. They do not require belief. They do not require attention. They simply operate consistently and without error. They are operating now, quietly supporting every part of you. Awareness may fade completely, or it may linger as a faint, centerless glow. Either way, nothing shifts. Nothing is lost. There is no moment to miss and no return to prepare for. Everything essential is already complete. We remain here in this boundless calm where silence is full, balance is effortless, and even the idea of rest has gently disappeared. Nothing shifts now, not because everything has stopped, but because there is no longer any contrast by which change could be noticed. This is the quiet beneath quiet, where even stillness no longer feels like an event. Awareness, if it exists at all, has become so diffuse that it has no center. It is like a temperature in the room rather than a point of light. Here, the mind has completely released its final habit, the habit of witnessing. There is no observer standing apart from experience. There is only experience itself, smooth and uninterrupted. This is not unconsciousness. It is consciousness resting so deeply that it no longer needs to look at itself. The universe rests this way too. Beneath every motion, beneath every orbit and pulse, there is a foundation of stability that does not fluctuate. Stars come and go, galaxies form and dissolve. Yet, beneath all of it, the underlying calm remains unchanged. That calm is what you are touching now. Your body no longer sends signals upward, asking to be felt. Sensation has quieted into neutrality. There is no discomfort to address, no pleasure to follow. The body has entered its most efficient configuration, where every system knows exactly what to do without instruction. This is not collapse, it is coherence. Breath continues without presence. The heart continues without emphasis. Circulation, repair, regulation, all occur in silence. This is how living systems are designed to function when nothing interferes, like a perfectly balanced mechanism that requires no adjustment. Gravity feels like a memory rather than a force. You're not aware of being held, only of the impossibility of falling. In the cosmos, gravity behaves the same way on vast scales. It does not pull objects toward awareness. It simply makes sure nothing drifts into chaos. Tonight, it is doing that for you. Time has become completely irrelevant. There is no duration here, no length, no sense of having arrived, or of remaining. In deep space, where no clocks can function, time is not experienced as movement. It is experienced as permanence. You are resting inside that permanence now. If awareness flickers, it does so without content, not a thought, not an image, just a faint existence that does not attach itself to anything. And if even that fades, nothing changes. The system remains balanced either way. Identity has fully relaxed. There is no name here, no history, no future, not because these things have been erased, but because they have stepped aside. Like tools laid down when the workday is over, they will be there again when needed. Tonight, they are not. The universe does not carry stories with it. It carries continuity. Energy does not remember where it has been. It simply continues to be. You're allowed to exist without remembering too. Deep inside, restoration has reached its most subtle layer, the kind that does not feel like fixing anything because nothing feels broken. It is refinement rather than repair, alignment rather than correction. The nervous system recalibrates itself to a baseline so calm it rarely reaches during waking life. This is where resilience is built. The universe builds resilience the same way, not by constant reaction, but by long periods of equilibrium. Stability is not dramatic. It is quiet and persistent. You are resting inside that persistence now. Dreaming has almost completely ceased. There are no images to wander through, no symbols to interpret. If anything arises at all, it is closer to a sensation of movement without direction, like a slow current in deep water. And even that may fade without notice. There is no emotional charge left, no positive or negative pull, just a smooth internal landscape that does not rise or fall. This neutrality is not dullness. It is balance without tension, like a perfectly level horizon that does not demand attention because nothing is out of place. External sounds, if they exist, dissolve before forming meaning. They are not processed as information. They are absorbed into the same field of quiet as everything else. The boundary between inner and outer has softened until it is no longer useful. This is the depth where sleep is no longer something happening to you. It is simply what exists. There is no need to stay, no need to go, no instruction left to follow. Even the concept of continuation has no relevance here. Everything that needed to settle has settled. Everything that needed to let go has let go. You are held by the most reliable thing in existence: consistency. The same principles that have never failed to keep matter and energy in balance are active now. They do not tire. They do not waver. They do not require awareness to function. They are holding you without effort. Awareness may be gone completely now, or it may remain as a faint, centerless presence. Either way, nothing is affected. There is no threshold to cross and no signal to miss. Sleep at this depth does not have edges. Everything essential is complete. Everything unnecessary has fallen away. We remain here in this vast, unmarked calm, where nothing asks for attention, nothing needs adjustment, and existence itself rests in perfect balance. Nothing arrives anymore, nothing departs. There is no sensation of depth, because depth has become uniform. This is the quiet where even calm no longer contrasts with anything else. Awareness, if it exists at all, is so thin it feels like a memory of presence rather than presence itself, like warmth that lingers after the source is gone, not fading, just no longer noticeable. Here, the mind has fully released the final layer of effort. There is no need to remain aware, No need to drift further, no need to check whether sleep has happened. The system has stopped asking questions because there are none left that matter. The universe rests like this for most of its existence. Long after stars ignite and long before they fade, there are immense spans of time where nothing meaningful changes. Energy has reached a state where it no longer needs to move to remain stable. This is not stagnation, it is completion. Your body is now inside that same completion. Every internal rhythm has settled into its most efficient expression. Heartbeat, breath, circulation, repair, regulation. All of it continues without variation or demand. Not slowed, not accelerated, simply optimal. This is the state living systems return to when nothing interferes. There is no sensation of breathing now, not because breath has stopped, but because awareness no longer orbits it. The body manages itself the way the universe manages temperature, pressure, and balance. Automatically, reliably, without supervision. The feeling of weight has fully dissolved. Gravity is no longer experienced as pull or pressure. It exists only as assurance. The quiet certainty that nothing can drift, nothing can slip, nothing can fall apart. In the cosmos, gravity holds entire galaxies together without ever being felt. Tonight, it is holding you the same way. Time has ceased to exist as a dimension of experience. There is no flow, no pause, no duration, just an even, unmarked presence that does not move forward, because forward has no meaning here. In the deepest regions of space, time stretches so completely that change becomes indistinguishable from permanence. You are resting inside that same permanence. If awareness flickers, it does not bring content with it. No thought, no image, no emotion, just a faint existence without reference. And if even that disappears, nothing changes. The balance remains intact either way. Identity has fully stepped aside. There is no name here, no history, no future, not because these things have been erased, but because they are unnecessary in this state, like tools resting on a table, ready to be used again, but not needed now. The universe does not carry identity, it carries continuity. Energy does not remember where it has been. It simply continues in the form that requires the least effort. You are allowed to exist this way too, without memory, without story, without definition. Deep restoration is now occurring at a level that has no sensation at all. Not repair, but refinement. Not fixing, but alignment. The nervous system recalibrates itself to a baseline so calm it rarely touches during waking life. Emotional residues dissolve without being revisited. Physical systems synchronize with one another perfectly. This is where resilience is rebuilt. The universe builds resilience the same way, not through constant reaction, but through long, uninterrupted equilibrium. Stability is quiet. It does not announce itself. It simply persists. You are resting inside that persistence now. Dreaming has completely dissolved. There are no images, no symbols, no movement. Even the idea of dreaming has faded. The mind is no longer exploring, it is resting from exploration itself. This is not emptiness, it is fullness without activity. Emotion has flattened into pure neutrality, not dullness, not numbness. Just balance without charge. Like a perfectly level surface that needs no adjustment because nothing is out of place. External sounds, if they exist, no longer register as events. They do not arrive. They do not depart. They are absorbed instantly into the same field of quiet. Internal sensations have done the same. There is no boundary between inner and outer because boundaries are no longer useful. This is the depth where sleep is not something happening to you. It is simply what exists. There is no instruction left to follow, no awareness to maintain, no next moment to prepare for. Even the concept of continuation has lost relevance. Everything that could settle has settled. Everything that could release has released. You are held by the most stable thing in existence, by principles that have never failed, never wavered, never required belief or attention. They have guided matter and energy since the beginning, and they are guiding you now. They do not tire. They do not pause. They do not need you to notice them. They are simply active. Awareness may be completely gone now, or it may remain as a faint, centerless glow. Either is fine. Nothing changes. Nothing is missed. There is no threshold to cross and no moment to mark. Everything essential is complete. We remain here in this boundless, unbroken calm, where even the idea of rest has dissolved, and existence itself rests in perfect, effortless balance. There is no change to notice now because nothing stands apart from anything else. The quiet is no longer something you enter. It is the condition that remains when every layer of effort, awareness, and expectation has gently fallen away. What is left does not move, does not deepen, and does not fade. It simply holds, the way space itself holds everything without pressure or intention. If awareness still exists, it has no shape. It is not centered behind the eyes or anchored in the body. It is spread so evenly that it cannot be located. Like a faint warmth filling an entire room, it has no source and no edge. You are no longer aware of rest. You are resting from awareness itself. This is where the mind finally stops doing even the subtlest form of work. There is no monitoring, no listening, no waiting. The habit of noticing has relaxed completely. Nothing needs to be registered. Nothing needs to be allowed or released. The system has reached a state where it trusts itself entirely. The universe exists in this state for most of its life. Between the brief brightness of stars and the slow fading of matter, there are immeasurable spans of quiet balance. Energy settles into patterns that require no adjustment. Forces counterbalance one another so precisely that motion becomes indistinguishable from stillness. This is not emptiness, it is stability perfected. Your body has synchronized with that same stability. Every internal system is now operating at its most refined level. Not active, not inactive, but perfectly aligned. The heart does not push blood. It allows it to move. The lungs do not pull air. They receive it. The brain does not think. It coordinates. Nothing rushes. Nothing lags. Everything arrives exactly where it needs to be. Breathing is no longer an experience. It has become a background constant, like gravity or temperature. It exists without drawing attention. The body has returned to the way it functioned long before conscious awareness learned to intervene. This is the body remembering that it knows how to sustain itself without guidance. The sense of weight has dissolved completely. There is no pressure, no contact point, no boundary where the body meets the surface beneath it. Support has replaced sensation. In space, objects are held in place without ever feeling held. Tonight, you are experiencing that same kind of support. Nothing presses, nothing pulls, nothing needs to be resisted. Gravity here is not a force, it is a certainty. The quiet knowledge that nothing can drift away, nothing can scatter, nothing can fall apart. The universe holds galaxies together this way, without effort or strain. It is holding you the same way now, Time has lost every feature that once defined it. There is no duration, no passing, no sequence. The idea of before and after has no relevance. Experience is flat, continuous, and unmarked. In the deepest regions of the cosmos, time behaves like this too. Without events to measure it against, it becomes indistinguishable from presence itself. You are resting inside that timeless presence. If awareness flickers, it does so without content. No images, no words, no emotions. Just a faint existence that does not attach itself to anything. And if even that disappears, nothing changes. Balance does not depend on observation. Stability does not require witnesses. Identity has completely stepped aside. There is no sense of being someone, no need to hold a name, no memory of roles or responsibilities. Not because these things are gone, but because they are unnecessary here. Like clothing removed before sleep, they have been set aside gently and without urgency. The universe does not carry identity. It carries continuity. Energy does not remember where it came from. It does not anticipate where it is going. It simply occupies the form that requires the least effort to maintain. Tonight, you are allowed the same simplicity. Deep within, restoration has reached its most subtle and powerful phase. This is not repair in response to damage. It is refinement toward balance. Neural patterns loosen and reorganize without thought. Emotional residue drains away without being revisited. Physical systems recalibrate themselves molecule by molecule, guided by signals too quiet to be felt. This work does not announce itself. It leaves no sensation behind. Its presence is known only by the ease that follows. The universe restores itself the same way. Over immense spans of time, irregularities smooth out. Extremes soften. Systems find configurations that require less and less effort to sustain. Given enough calm, complexity resolves into harmony. You are being given that calm now. Dreaming has completely dissolved. There are no images, no movements, no stories. Even the idea of dreaming has faded. The mind is not exploring. It is resting from exploration itself. This is not blankness. It is fullness without activity, like a perfectly still lake that reflects nothing because nothing needs to be reflected. Emotion has settled into pure neutrality, not numbness, not absence, just balance without charge. There is no pull toward pleasure and no push away from discomfort. Everything has leveled into a smooth internal landscape where nothing stands out because nothing is out of place. External sounds, if they occur, do not arrive as events. They are absorbed instantly into the same field of quiet. Internal sensations have done the same. The distinction between inner and outer has lost meaning. There is only one continuous field of stillness, uninterrupted and complete. This is the depth where sleep is no longer something happening to you. It is simply the state that exists. There is no instruction left to follow, no awareness to maintain, no next moment to prepare for. Even the concept of continuation has dissolved. Everything that could settle has settled. Everything that could release has released. You are held by principles that do not change, by laws that have guided matter and energy since the beginning of time. They do not require belief. They do not require attention. They do not pause or fail. They are active now, quietly sustaining every part of you. Awareness may be completely absent, or it may remain as a faint, centerless glow. Either is fine. Nothing is lost. Nothing is missed. There is no threshold to cross and no moment to mark. Everything essential is already complete. We remain here in this vast, effortless equilibrium where silence is full, balance is absolute, and existence itself rests without needing to be noticed. Nothing announces itself here. There is no cue, no signal, no threshold being crossed. The state you are in does not begin or end. It simply remains like a horizon that does not move because there is no distance left to travel. Awareness, if it still lingers, has become so diffuse that it cannot gather into a point. It is not watching, it is not waiting. It is resting from the idea of rest. In this place, the mind has released even its quietest reflex. There is no subtle leaning toward sensation, no faint checking for change. The habit of orientation has dissolved completely. There is nothing to orient to. Experience has become uniform, smooth, and unbroken, like a calm field without landmarks. The universe spends most of its existence like this, far from stars, far from motion, far from anything that draws attention. There are vast reaches where energy has settled into perfect distribution. Nothing needs to move because nothing is uneven. This is not emptiness. It is completion without display. Your body has settled into that same completion. Inside you, processes continue with exquisite precision, untouched by awareness. The heart maintains its rhythm without variation. Blood flows without urgency. The lungs exchange air with a gentleness so exact it cannot be improved. The brain no longer broadcasts or receives. It coordinates quietly, like a conductor whose orchestra no longer needs cues. Breathing is now entirely theoretical. It exists, but not as an experience. The body knows exactly how much air it needs and takes it without involving thought. This is not withdrawal. It is mastery returning to its source. The sensation of weight has fully dissolved into certainty. There is no feeling of contact, no pressure, no point of support. There is simply the knowledge that nothing can fall. In space, objects do not feel supported, yet they remain exactly where they belong. Tonight, you are held in the same way, without sensation, without effort, without attention. Gravity here is not a pull, it is a rule that never fails. The quiet assurance that everything stays coherent, that nothing drifts into disorder. The universe relies on this assurance everywhere. You are resting inside it now. Time has become irrelevant beyond description. There is no duration to measure, no passing to notice. Experience is not moving forward because forward has no meaning here. In the deepest cosmic regions, time stretches until it becomes indistinguishable from presence itself. You are resting inside that same presence where nothing ages because nothing is being measured. If awareness flickers, it does so without content. No thought, no image, no emotion, just a faint being without reference. And if that fades too, nothing changes. Balance does not depend on observation. Stability does not require awareness. Identity has gently stepped aside. There's no sense of being someone, no name, no memory, no future. Not because these have been erased, but because they are unnecessary here. Like tools resting quietly after their work is done, they wait without demand. The universe carries no identity, it carries continuity. Energy does not remember its past or anticipate its future. It simply occupies the form that requires the least effort to maintain. Tonight, you are allowed that same simplicity. Restoration now occurs at its deepest level, not repair, but refinement, not correction, but alignment. Neural networks soften and reorganize without sensation. Emotional imprints lose their charge and dissolve without being revisited. Physical systems synchronize their rhythms until nothing conflicts with anything else. This work is silent and complete. The universe restores itself this way too. Given enough calm, irregularities smooth out, extremes soften, complexity resolves into harmony. This is not decay. It is balance finishing its work. You're being given that finishing now. Dreaming has completely vanished. There are no images, no movements, no symbols. Even the idea of dreaming has faded. The mind is not exploring. It is resting from exploration itself. This is not blankness. It is fullness without activity, like a perfectly still sky that does not need stars to feel complete. Emotion has settled into pure neutrality, not numbness, not absence, just balance without charge. There is no pull toward pleasure, no push away from discomfort. Everything has leveled into a smooth internal landscape where nothing stands out because nothing is out of place. External sounds, if they exist, do not register as events. They are absorbed instantly into the same field of quiet. Internal sensations have done the same. The distinction between inner and outer has dissolved because it no longer serves any purpose. There is only one continuous field of stillness. This is the depth where sleep is no longer something that happens to you. It is simply the state that exists. There is no instruction left to follow, no awareness to maintain, no next moment to prepare for. Even the concept of continuation has softened until it no longer matters. Everything that could settle has settled. Everything that could release has released. You are held by principles that do not change, by laws that have guided matter and energy since the beginning. They do not require belief. They do not require attention. They do not pause or fail. They are active now, quietly sustaining every part of you. Awareness may be entirely absent, or it may remain as a faint, centerless glow. Either way, nothing is lost. Nothing is missed. There is no threshold to cross and no moment to mark. Everything essential is complete. We remain here in this vast, effortless equilibrium where silence is full, balance is absolute, and existence itself rests without needing to be noticed. There is nothing more to say now. Everything that needed to soften has softened. Everything that needed to quiet has grown quiet on its own. You are no longer drifting. You are no longer arriving. You are simply resting inside balance itself. The universe continues its calm work without sound. Your body does the same. Nothing asks for attention. Nothing needs effort. Let awareness fade completely if it wants to, or let it remain as a gentle glow with no center. Both are perfect. You are safe. You are held, and the night will carry you the rest of the way.